powers of computer network, especially for the GATE purpose. My name is Puneet Kansal. In this lecture, we will talk about application layer protocols. Application layer protocols. Application layer is the last layer in the OSI model. If you see in the OSI model, this is the last layer. Even in TCP/IP model, this is the last layer. But if you compare it with OSI model, in OSI model, we have gone through three layers: application layer, presentation layer, and session layer. But from TCP/IP model point of view, all three are combined in one layer, that is application layer. By the way, these are the different protocols which works at these layers. There are many applications which can be performed at application layer. There are thousands of applications are available, but as per GATE syllabus, we will cover only few of the applications, few of the protocols with application layer protocols. Okay, so those protocols actually will work here at this place. Only those protocols are covered in the GATE syllabus, and we will cover only those protocols. Even though there are thousands of applications, so thousands of protocols are there, but we will cover some of them. So I will introduce you with the first of all application layer, and then we will see different protocols at the application layer. So let's start with the introduction to application layer. As we already know, application is the last layer in OSI model. Application layer handles the actual interface with the user application programs. So this is the layer at which actually user interact. Okay, and there are various functions that can be performed at application layer depend upon the type of application you are working on. I have already tell you that there are thousands of applications are available, but we are covering some of them. For example, some of the functions which we are covering at application layer is one of them is like providing domain name service, DNS service. Means, for example, you know the domain name, but you don't know the IP address related to that. For example, you know a website name www.google.com, but you don't know what is the IP address of that. Then DNS server will help you to find out that. Another one is maybe server load balancing. There may be many Google servers available, and if one server get overloaded, then the load of that server can be transmitted to the queries of that server can be transmitted to redirect to others Google server. So this is also done by actually DNS protocol. So this is one of the application at the application layer. Another one is if you want to access the web pages. In that case, actually you use the HTTP protocol. These are different versions of HTTP protocol. There is also another protocol, HTTPS, which is used for security purpose. This is used for web pages access. And another function of application layer is in file transfer, access and management, which is done with the help of FTP protocol, file transfer protocol. And another function of application layer is in mail services, to receive the mail, to send the mail. So SMTP, POP and IMAP protocols are used for mail services. MIME is used for multimedia type of transmitting data. If you want to transmit data in the form of video and pictures, then MIME protocol is also there, is used for in the mail services. So these are the different main functions of the application layer which are covered from GATE point of view. These are the different protocols which we need to cover from GATE point of view. Let's see all of them one by one. First, let's start with the domain name system. Let me read this statement about the DNS. The client, like web browser, send a request to the DNS server to obtain the IP address of a host name. So DNS is all about getting the IP address of a server. If you know its host name. For example, you know google.com, but you don't know the IP address of that. So DNS server actually help you to get the IP address of that. Actually you work at the browser, and with browser you know the website name, and you interact with the DNS server. DNS server will give you the IP address of this particular website, and then your browser will interact with this particular website using this IP address which you get from here. So you know this thing as a user, you know this thing, and the DNS server provide you the IP address against this domain name. Okay, and then browser use this IP address to access that particular website on a web server. Okay, then you get the web pages. So this is how actually DNS system works. It's all about it's a main job is here is to get the IP address if you know the domain name. Okay, otherwise DNS is domain name server system is also used for servers load balancing. If one server get overloaded, then the queries can be sent to other server. Okay, that is also done here in the domain name system. Okay, let's move on. Another one is the another protocol you works at the application layer is the hypertext transfer protocol, HTTP, which is used for accessing the web pages, and web pages may contain text, video, images, even the for example animated data, different type of data you can access now with the help of HTTP. Actually HTTP was the protocol which makes the internet more popular. With the help of HTTP, actually World Wide Web was become so popular. Okay, because with the help of HTTP we were able to transmit plain text, hypertext, audio, video, and so on. So so HTTP is the one of the most popular protocol in the internet world. Okay, so HTTP protocol can be used to access the web pages having the data of type plain text, hypertext, audio, video, and so on. Okay, okay, this is how actually HTTP protocol works. As a user, you send a okay URL, you send a request to your browser, you access your browser, and your browser send a HTTP request. Okay, so the main job of HTTP is to get the web pages. Okay, so you give a URL in the browser, and browser generate the HTTP request to the web server, and web server give the HTTP response to browser, and your browser then provide the web pages to the user. Okay, so this is how HTTP request and response works between browser and web server. Okay, okay, these are the basics of these protocols. Actually I'm covering very basics. What are these protocols? Very basics. So next protocol in the application layer is file transfer protocol, which is used for transferring the file between two hosts, two remote host, I can say. Okay, maybe to local host or to remote host. Okay, so FTP is used to transmitting the file from one host to another remote computer. Okay, so they are mainly actually two operations we perform in two type of data we transmit in the with the help of FTP, file transfer protocol. One thing is clear, file transfer protocol is used for transmitting the data over the internet, over the remote locations. Okay, if you want to transmit the files. Okay, so actually there remain two type of files you transmit. One is okay, you can say that okay, control process files. What are the control process files is, one is control process, another one is simple data transfer process. So there are two type of data you transmit. One is control data, another one is simple file transfer. So in control data you actually send the request for the password or any particular type of login. So if you are if you want to log in somewhere, if you want to access the password, these type of requests are known as control request. Okay, so for that control connection is made, which is again done with the help of FTP. And another type of is you simply want to access the download some file. So that type of process is known as data transfer process. Okay, and data connection is known as data connection. Both connections, control connection and data connections, are done with the help of FTP, file transfer protocol, but these are two different connections which can be done created with the help of FTP protocol. This is control 1, this is control 1, and this is, in this actually we simply transmit the file, complete file you can download, and this is all about accessing the for example password and login type of information. More information is given here. What is control connection is control connection. So if you want, simply client want to access the download the data from the server. So based upon the type of data, we make two type of connections with the help of FTP protocol. And here client is accessing the data from the server database and storing it in its own database. Okay, let's see about the control connection. So for sending control information like user identification, password, commands to change the remote directory, commands to retrieve and store the file. So if you are sending different commands, you're changing your password, user identification. So this type of control information is done with the help of this connection, control connection. Okay, and the control connection is initiated on port number 21. This particular port number is used for this particular application. What application? Control connection application. Okay, for this type of application, for accessing the user identification, password and sending different commands. So communication take place at this port. We know that every application is having its own port number. And another type of connection that we can make is data connection, which is used for sending the actual files. So if you want to send an actual file, okay, rather than sending the commands, or you are making login somewhere, if you are simply downloading some file just like that, then data connection is made. Okay, and this data connection is initiated at port number 20. Okay, so again this is a port number. We know that every application works on a particular port. So this application works as 20 number port, and control connection works as port number 21. So this is basics information about the file transfer protocol. Next protocol is the simple mail transfer protocol. Okay, these three protocols are actually used for mail access. Means you want to transmit the mail to somebody, you want to receive the mail. Okay, so this is just like transmitting the data itself, but here in these protocols are actually helps to access the data to the user later. Okay, with if you compare this protocol with file transfer protocol, in file transfer protocol you are interacting in the real time. Okay, you were interacting with the server in real time, you are downloading the file in real time. Okay, but here in the case of SMTP, these type of protocols, still you can transmit the data, you can receive the data, but that data need not be accessed in real time. Okay, for example, if I send you a email, then you do not need to access the same time that email. Okay, you can access that message later on whenever you are free. So this is how this is different from FTP, even though both are transmitting the data, both are sending and receiving the data, but here you can access the data later on also. That facility is also available with the help of these protocols. Okay, so let's see how this protocol works. Okay, let's see. Before that, let me read this statement for you. SMTP is a push protocol and is used for send the mail. Okay, this is used for sending the mail. SMTP is used for sending the mail. Okay, or I can say okay, pushing the data over the server, pushing the data over the actually message transfer agent or mail transfer agent. So I will tell you okay what is push protocol. But one thing is that SMTP is used for sending the mail, whereas POP, post office protocol, is, or IMAP, internet message protocol, internet message access protocol, are used to retrieve the mail. SMTP is used for sending the mail, and these two, POP and IMAP, are used for retrieving the mail. Okay, so let's see how try to understand this protocol with this diagram. So this is sender, this is receiver. So sender can be your any browser actually. Okay, or even I will say okay, in not browser actually, sender can be actually your maybe like MS Outlook. Okay, that software is used for sending and receiving the mail. So with the help of this MS Outlook, not browser actually, MS Outlook, you can send the mail. Okay, so agent is now sending the mail. They send the mail, that may send multiple mails, and these are sent these are sent with MTA. What is mail transfer agent? For example, your account, your email account is at Gmail. So let's suppose xyz@gmail.com. From this email, from this gmail.com is your MTA, message transfer agent. Okay, here you are sending, this is your account. So Gmail is a message transfer agent. So from your MS Outlook, you are composing a mail, and you are sending it with this MTA, that is gmail.com. Okay, message transfer agent, you are sending the message. Okay, and you are sending the message, let's suppose, to abc@hotmail.com. So here hotmail.com is another MTA, which is the receiver side MTA. Okay, which is also message transfer agent at the receiver side, and this is their address of that particular person. Okay, so you are sending the message from your MTA to the receiver MTA with the help of SMTP protocol. Okay, so once the mail is reached to hotmail.com at particular this account, now the receiver can access the data from here. Okay, in its own MS Outlook or any other mail access software maybe. Okay, so now I want to add some more thing in this. First thing is clear that okay, how SMTP is working. SMTP here is pushing the mail. Okay, pushing the mail from here to here, means from this MTA to this MTA, SMTP is pushing the mail. SMTP transferring the mail, you message from this MTA from Gmail to hotmail.com. Okay, so that's why this is known as push protocol. SMTP is also known as push protocol. So this from here to here you are performing push operation, pushing the mail to anybody else MTA. Okay, and after that, when you are accessing the mail, accessing the data, then the receiver accessing the data from its MTA, then that is known as POP operation. Okay, you are performing POP operation, that is post office protocol are used here, POP or IMAP, for retrieving the data, for I say okay, retrieve to retrieve the data from its MTA, receiver is using these two protocol. To push the data, sender is using SMTP protocol. Okay. So this is how SMTP POP-M IMAP protocol works. Okay. One more thing we can add here about MIME protocol. MIME protocol is used for sending actually multimedia messages. This is SMTP is used for sending simple mail transfer protocol, that is for sending simple text, but right now we can send messages and video also. So for that this protocol is used for pushing the data of multimedia type. Okay, that's it. This is the basics about these protocols. Okay, that's it about this lecture. Thank you.